Hi, Paul. Hello, Priya.
Hi, Sandhya.
Hey, good to see you.
Hi. Hi. So welcome everyone to the first session of from the credentialing portfolio, and we have President, Mr. Radhakant Jaiswal. But before he can talk a little more about introducing the portfolio, but let me take the privilege of introducing Sandhya. So who is Sandhya? Sandhya Mathur. So something which is not there in LinkedIn is Sandhya is a person who is been born and raised at different parts of the country, from Dehradun to Hyderabad to Delhi to Mumbai to Assam. She is the daughter of India and presenting the first ever credentialing portfolio present in India. So she's a coach with more than 2 decades of experience and more than 10,000 hours of coaching and more than 5,000 hours of coaching other coaches as a coach educator. And most of it you can find on LinkedIn, her list of accolades and credentials. And something I got to know while I was reading her profile is she's also written 2 books, which I'll share the link. Maybe, I'm curious to read. So not keeping you away from Sandhya, because you will get to know her and what she has to offer to serve all the coaches of India is experiential. So over to you, Sandhya. Radhakanji, do you want to say a word before we start?
I think good to go, and we are looking forward for a great session. And we are hopeful that the series of the session will give a boost to the credential portfolio, and people will understand the value of it. And we are sure that Sandhya Mathur is going to make it most of it. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks, Debesh, and thank you, Radhakantji, because, thank you. I'd forgotten these numbers, Debesh, and thank you so much. Feels good to remember all that. And yes, it's been, you spoke about all the cities here and lots of travel. So work has taken me, it's a global world today. Everyone just interacting with so many people. Thank you for that. And a very warm welcome to all of you. And really, truly appreciate the effort, because so many of you are signing in from outside India, and we'd really, really love to know where each one of you has signed in from today. It would be, really make this a global experience, Indian, global, and we'll know where you are from. And just put it in the chat, please. And where have you arrived in your coaching journey? Whether are you in coach training? Are you working towards your ACC, PCC? Where are you? It would be wonderful to get to know you all better. And perhaps, then the session can be, as we go along, we'll have your questions coming in and all of that. Fantastic. So we've got lots on our, wow.
Yeah, mostly people who are PCCs. I see a lot of PCC, CK for PCC, ACC towards PCC. So yeah, we see a lot of that, and people are joining in from Georgia, India, Bangalore, Delhi, Gurgaon, Delhi, Gurgaon, USA, Maryland, Phoenix, Arizona, Bangalore, wow. Geneva. Yeah, so we have a global crowd.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate this. Saying that again, because, to find time early in the morning, in the, when you're in the Western world, in the Western hemisphere, and logging in today, midweek, where you could be at home in the evening. Thank you so much. Now, the things, thank you for, talking about where you're from. So we did receive some questions, and we did, I've been talking to a large number of coaches. And what shaped today's discussion and what we are going to talk about is some of these things. So there were some general challenges about processes surrounding the PCC credential. It's a very comprehensive website, right? Sometimes it seems that it is so comprehensive that a number of coaches do get lost, and there's so much information that you need more clarity. There are coaches who've said that they want to ace the credentialing process. How do we do it? How does it work? Now, all of this, yes, but not necessarily in the same order. How do we implement and integrate those learnings at every step? How does it really work? The kind of coaching format and structure and flow that is required at that level, does it really apply in real life? Can I really use it? I mean, I've had coaches ask me that, and then how do you, so many of us are conditioned around the world to help, to advise, and how do you work towards co-creating a coaching relationship? All of those things, and leveling up your coaching to PCC, and how does it work? How do you adapt your style? And this has been a constant thing. Is coaching only about leadership and executive coaching, or is it only used in relationships? Where can we use all of this? And when we talk about this level, will it really work for me in the kind of coaching, in the kind of niche or the segment that I coach? All of those questions came up, and please feel free to add to these, and we will take it up at some point during the session. So yeah, Debesh, there seems to be lots happening in the chat, so I guess you'll keep an eye on that.
I'll keep an eye on them, and any questions that you have, right, I'll share it with you.
Absolutely. So this is what this is what I put together, and honestly, you're not alone. There has been a lot of research on this, and you'll notice that credentialing, affiliation, all of these, how aware are people? Look at the statistics. There's one more slide and some stats on that as well. Awareness levels have gone up, but if we look at certification and we look at membership and people looking ahead in their career as a coach, there are some yes, there are no's, there are the unsure as well. Now, I would say that this data is not, of course, stagnant, right? It is very, very dynamic, and each one of us here is raising our levels of awareness and learning all the time. It is a mature, learning and maturity continuum. It's a maturity continuum for the profession itself, correct? So that's why let's just keep asking those questions and moving ahead. And of course, awareness levels have gone up. If you look at the 73% of global respondents saying that they are aware about the profession, about coaching, it's pretty up from 51% that it was in 2010, right? And there is awareness in all sectors. I can happily say that when I started coaching, family, extended family used to ask, what is it that you do? Oh, I guess you're a counselor. Oh, do you give advice? What do you do? Do you solve people's problems? So there was very minimal understanding, and it's really grown, right? And we are growing with it. Now, having said all of that, why are we here? What's the big deal about the PCC credential? What could we say in a very materialistic world? What are the tangible benefits? And what are the intangible benefits that lead to those tangible benefits? Let's explore that. And of course, open to any questions, any observations as we go along. So let's look at the tangible benefits first. What are they? The entire journey, right? How does it work? We are talking about the coaching journey and the sustained impact at every level. And since I said cause and effect, I would say I'm talking about the effect before I talk about the cause. If you're looking at coach training, basic coach training, where you are a certified life coach after that, that is certification. What happens? And if you all recall, it is like, what is your goal today and how are we going to go about it, right? Goals and activities, that is how coaching started. And then your instructor or your mentor would give you feedback and it just progressed, right? Then came ACC. And there is ACC for some of you, I realize that. More geared towards results, goals, activities at this stage. We are dealing with what is coaching and what is it that needs to be done, right? The what of the process and the what of the client's goal. Next, what we're going to talk about today, PCC. That's on the coaching journey. The coach has enough experience by this time to really understand structures and systems and the flow of conversation. The flow of conversation becomes kind of free-flowing. And we also learn to explore the who and the how here. What is going to be done? What is the goal? Who the client is? And why do they want to do what they want to do? What is driving the client to achieve that particular goal? That's where we get into the who, the whys, and the drive, the motivation, and all of that. I would say, personally, for a really effective, impactful conversation, that begins at the PCC stage. Yes, the MCC, it's mastery in that. The why, the who, the what, why, who, how, all of that is getting explored. So this is what is finally the tangible benefit, I would say, the sustained impact as you progress through this journey. How do you get there? What is the process? What causes do you create? What processes do you go through? What is that difference between the certification, the ACC, and the PCC? How does this sustained impact happen? We are coaches, right? We know that there's got to be change within, for that change to be seen, for that sustained impact to be seen outside. So what's the PCC difference? What are we doing there? we start working over a period of time. And your mentor will emphasize on that, right? We work on the client's inner world to bring about a change in their outer world. That's the real impact. And that is the sustained impact, because if it's just actions and behaviors changing, it might be temporary. Something needs to change within, because growth comes from within, right? And whether we look at scientifically, practically, or if we look at it in a philosophical manner, wouldn't you agree that, there's only one thing in the world that you can change, and that's yourself, right? And that same thing applies to our client. We change. Let's just forget about the client for a moment. Think about yourself. You change, the environment changes. And it's really strange that, we keep waiting for everything else around us to change. But you change, the environment changes, practical, philosophical, spiritual, whichever lens we use. So to get the client to explore something like this with the client, to work on their inner world, what should my growth be like? Because the credentialing journey, the PCC difference that we are talking about, is about the coach's journey. The client comes way later, right? This is about our journey. So the coach needs to evolve. The coach needs to engage with their own self first. And to make it really perhaps simple, I would say this would be a very emotionally intelligent coach. Self-aware, therefore aware about what their client is saying, doing, listening, all of that starts happening. They are self-aware. They are able to work on themselves. Any self-aware individual can do that. Work on yourself, manage relationships, and manage your connect with other people. And think of us, just visualize yourself as a coach sitting in front of a client, where you're aware, you're empathetic, you're compassionate, you're listening to the client. It's a co-creative relationship. You are in the moment because you're very self-aware. And then minute by minute awareness is mindfulness. Because it's how do we do that? How do we work on that self-awareness? Because we are going to be exploring in the inner world what happens. There's the client's beliefs, the emotions, the thoughts, the behaviors, their identity, perhaps, the conditioning, their beliefs. How do we get down to that level? How do we explore at that level? Unless we are aware that there is that inward journey to take the client there. Only then can we take them there, right? So would it be right to say that the coach needs to evolve in a way that they understand who they are before exploring the inner world, so that for a client? I would also stretch it to say that a coach can take their client only as deep as they've been themselves. And we are not talking of an identical journey. It is just the awareness that there is an inward journey. Therefore, whoever my client is, whatever their identity, whatever their environment, my effort, my commitment is going to take them on that inner journey. It's the depth of listening, it's the depth of connection that happens there. And please do feel, feel free to ask questions, put it in.
So we have, Bhaskaran saying that you can take your client only as deep as you've gone yourself. He says that's a great statement. Rajneesh has a query. What is preventing an ACC coach from doing all that is mentioned in the slide?
So there is nothing preventing, and I'm so sorry. I don't know what's just happened. I switched to look at the. Can you all hear me, Debesh?
Yes, we can all hear you. Your screen has frozen. So maybe, you can switch on and switch off your video. That should be fine. We can see you.
I can't see anything.
So you can switch off the video and switch it on one more time.
My screen is dark and black. I don't know what happened there.
We can see your screen. Do you want to log in one more time?
Can I do that, please?
Yeah,
I
I
can't.
think you
Yeah,
try escape first, Sandhya.
I tried
It
that.
might-
I tried that.
right.
Okay.
So Sandhya, you can just log in. That's absolutely fine.
Thank you
Right.
so much. I'm
Yeah.
sorry about this. Don't know idea what happened.
That's some perfectly okay. Like,
Not a
relog
problem.
in,
Not a
yeah.
problem. So meanwhile, Sandhya is taking us coaches to the inner world, right? So how there are a lot of of us in a journey of answering this question. So I'm just going to start a Mentimeter poll as she's coming in. I planned it for later on, and just share what you feel. So click on the link. You will see on screen an option to share your feeling. Okay, and let me know how you are feeling, how you're feeling right now. And right.
Can you share the code, please?
Yes, so it's shared in the chat. If you see, I hope everybody can see it, menti.com. I have to share the code. Okay, right. Just give me a sec. Even I'm doing it for the first time. I learned it from my friends in Chennai. Just a sec. So I can see 4 votes. You don't need a code.
I didn't know you're from ICF Chennai.
No, I'm not from ICF
You're
Chennai, but I
there.
learned it from my friends.
Okay. We use that commentary in ICF
I
Chennai.
know, Vijay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I can see others are sharing. So let me share what is showing up. I can't do a full screen, but so people are sharing motivated, exploring, happy and curious, fascinated, inspired. A lot of people are saying curious, optimistic, confused, got it, motivated, thoughtful, learner. I think a lot of us are inspired and curious. So that's what is coming up. And exploring, fascinated, hopeful. So a lot of us seems like it's more of an action word connecting us to the future, right? So in anticipation of what is going to happen in the future. Got it. So I'll keep this for a while Sandhya is joining back. I think it might be
Yeah, I'm in a
also.
call, doctor, but I can just no problem. You can we can talk now quickly, and then no, it's okay. Quickly mention to me, and we can there's detail, and we can go back again.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm just waiting for Sandhya to log in. So most of us are curious people, right? Curious coaches out there. I see that word really popping out big. Yeah. So anybody wants to unmute and also share what's coming up other than this one word? I know, there are a lot of people who'd love to talk. Pradeep, you're there. Anything that is coming up for you? So people who are already PCCs, who've gone through this process and
Not
experiencing.
allowed to come. Unfortunately, I'm in Atlanta on that day for a wedding for my
Debesh, can you mute
That's the only
Mr.
constraint.
Bhaskar?
I will certainly would like
Right,
to know
just a
what
sec.
happened and
Who
how it
is
went and all that. Is there
unmuted?
going to be some
Bhaskar,
Zoom or
Mr.
recording
Bhaskar.
or something of the event or?
Right. Got it. Sorry. Okay, so who wants to
I
share?
thought I was on some other call parallelly.
Okay, not a problem. Who wants to share? Who's already there in their PCC journey and like on the other side? So a lot of us are going through the journey. Like I can see Sunny and a lot of our friends who are in this process of moving from ACC and discovering what it takes to become that PCC coach, like peeling one layer and discovering it. So I'd like to listen from people who are already on the other side. Anybody wants to share? Yeah, Sandhya is back.
Very, very sorry about that. No idea what happened.
So we had a quick poll and we saw that how people are feeling is mostly curious. So we'll take it from there and Sandhya, over to you.
Thank you. Thanks. So we were here when it just froze and I was checking it for any questions. Were there any questions around this or should we
So there was one question from Rajneesh. He asked, what is preventing an ACC coach from doing all that is mentioned in this slide?
Actually, nothing. Some of us have the natural skills also, Rajneesh. A lot of us listen at that level in any case. And in fact, if you've been mentored by a coach who coaches at that level or who's mentoring at the PCC level, it can work. It's just that it is, more standardized. You'll be your calls will be, your recordings will be either assessed by your mentor or your assessors at ICF, and there will be more emphasis laid on some skills which may or may not be really emphasized on at the ACC level. So for example, we could be, let's say I'm mentoring someone for ACC and the skills that I emphasize on could be at the PCC level, right? And some things you also learn from experience. So the 500 hours that you need for PCC is truly experiential learning. There's no taking away from that. But then a lot of people do go ahead and renew their ACC rather than going up for the next credential, which is PCC. They might be just demonstrating all of these, and they may not have applied for PCC because they perhaps haven't gone in for extra training hours or something. There's no hard and fast barrier to it. And at every stage, perhaps we might feel, I do know this and I can do that. There is confidence, but the learning continuum, the maturity continuum, more importantly, needs, it needs to be it needs to complement whatever you're doing right now. There's nothing stopping a ACC coach, and I honestly know a number of coaches who've earned their ACC credential, and they're amazing coaches. This is not to say that there is anything less or more. Some of it is, as I said, natural talent, and all of us came to coaching with some of that inherent natural talent, right? And there are others, some of them are right here in this gathering today. They are brilliant coaches, but they are ACC accredited, and no harm in that. Rajneesh does that well.
Thank you. Yeah,
does that well.
Yeah. For the time being, I'm sure there is much more in your presentation, and probably my question was a little ahead of time.
Yeah.
So thank you for what you have shared. Please proceed.
Sure. Yeah. So the coach is, to go back a little bit, I'm saying that it is I think we were talking about the coach, being on that journey themselves. They can take their client as deep as they've been themselves. It is really not being an identical journey. It is not my experience and the client's experience being the same. No two lives are identical, right? We all know that. But the fact that, if the coach, a very well self-aware coach, is aware of that inward journey, then that self-aware coach, and I'm talking the basic concepts of emotional intelligence here, is going to be socially aware. He's going to be have some awareness about another person as well, their emotions. And that's where the compassion and empathy comes in. And the awareness, the understanding that I have to take my client on this inward journey to explore their inner world. If the challenges are within, then the solutions also lie within. And as we go along on this journey, we just become more and more experienced, and that's it. It just becomes maybe part of our DNA. Do this day in and day out, and you're there, right? Because now the coach is never the fixer, never the, we've moved from telling to asking long ago as we started our coaching journey. So the coach is the catalyst, where we are facilitating self-reflection that we discussed a couple of minutes back. And we are supporting a goal setting, specific goal setting. Because remember, goal setting not done well, then that conversation is totally ambiguous. And that requires skill. If goal setting there's no clarity there, that means no destination, no direction, and a conversation being totally ambiguous. So those are that's where the skills lie. And the skills lie in going deeper and deeper and exploring those limiting beliefs, how the client is going to deal with them, and how it's going to reflect in their changed behavior. That's what the coach does. And the most important thing that we do, we say that we are accountability partners, we create that accountability. That, I would say, is even a deeper skill, because I've had clients coming and telling me, hey, you're the coach, tell me what to do. Why don't you just give me a solution? Whether it's about relationships or it's about career goals. Clients do that. But how do I put the accountability there? Because unless there is accountability, I would say we can't even begin to talk commitment and accountability both. Now, where is that accountability coming from? That depth of exploring the need, the drive. Why does the client want to do what they want to do? I mean, I promise you, we don't ask the why question, but we need to explore that. The client needs to know. So that's the depth of exploration, and that's the depth of our work as the catalyst. So what are we doing? We are coaching tangible needs. It could be anything about financial goals. It could be anything about employment, finances, health, fitness, needs of the body, needs of the mind. We are coaching the what, and we are coaching relationships. We are talking about the client's feelings, the client's emotions, their beliefs. They're talking about valuing others, relationships, and relationships come up everywhere, whether it's leadership coaching, executive coaching, personal relationships. Those are equations. Connections are not going away anywhere, whether in the professional life or in the personal life. So we are coaching goals in all of these areas. We are talking about and exploring their core beliefs, their value systems, and the drive, the need to do what they want to do. So we are literally exploring the who of the client, the what they want to do, why do they want to do what they want to do, and who they are. We are evoking awareness about all of that. That's what's required at this level. And I mean, each one of us might think, yes, I'm able to do that. I am there. I do this skillfully. And right now, perhaps some of us might be thinking, maybe not. So we are talking about, if I were to sum up this journey, I would say that, and please, this is a given quadrant. We are not talking about anyone. We are not saying that anyone is incompetent here, but we are talking about the unawareness. When you're unaware that there's something that's not working in your coaching conversation, something that's not making the conversation as effective as you would have liked it to be. What is that is missing there? So that is the quadrant, that is the unconscious incompetence, where I'm not even aware. Like, honestly, I'm not aware what went wrong with my screen right now. And yes, for a moment, wondering what it is, lack of proficiency. I'm trying to shut it down. I'm trying everything, but it's not working. Right now, in 5 minutes, I couldn't have gained the knowledge, the internal workings of this computer. So that is unconscious incompetence. And it's not to say one level is, we are all at different stages of growth, right? Next, what happens? Maybe because of feedback, client feedback, mentor feedback, my own introspection, I understand that this is something that is not working in my coaching conversations. So we become aware of that particular missing piece. But what? We still don't know how to go about it. Then so that is the conscious incompetence, awareness about that. Then we start making an effort towards it. What does it do? Conscious effort will bring conscious competence. Use that skill with some effort, where effort is being, put in, where when you're trying to, all right, what will the assessor say? What will the mentor say? Let me make it a point to include this skill, say this in my coaching conversation. That is the level of conscious competence. And then comes the unconscious competence, where it is in the flow. It's just kind of part of your DNA, part of the way you coach. It's effortless. It just flows. That is the journey we are talking about. That is the difference. And yes, what are the I'm happy to pause here before going ahead. Is there anything? Debesh, I'm a little wary of checking the chat right now because
we don't have any questions, but I'll invite everybody because everybody wants to record the session, and happy to know that we are recording and we'll be sharing it with you,
sure.
Everyone. Any questions at this point? Because it's deep and we are all curiously together in this journey. Any questions? We'll be happy.
I missed the elements of the spirit. When we're talking about body, mind, heart, and spirit, the competency.
That's Violeta, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you like me to quickly go back?
Please. Thank you.
So we are, Violeta, I'm saying that what I was saying was that coming from here, body, mind, heart, and spirit is about, we are talking about the goals, tangible goals. We are talking about what the coach is really doing is, just give me a moment. I'm a little scared again. I don't know. I work on this machine day in and day out.
Just, yeah.
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 There. So we are coaching our client on so many things. If you think of, I'm wondering if you've heard of the identity iceberg. You see the behavior right on top, right? For any individual, the tip of the iceberg is behavior. Underneath the water, that part of the iceberg that is underwater is our beliefs, our environment, our identity, our values, and everything else, right? The coach is coaching the surface, the behavior, and all that lies within. So basically, we are coaching what is the goal, what is the behavior that needs to be changed, or what has to be achieved. And we are also coaching them and exploring under the surface who they are. So we are exploring their emotions. We are talking about valuing each other, others in their environment. Perhaps it's a relationship coaching thing. We are talking about their core beliefs. We are talking or exploring their value system. And we are also exploring their intrinsic motivation at this level. And we are basically exploring the what, the why, and the who, instead of what we started with when we began coaching. What is it that you would, the typical question is, what would you like to talk about today? The client tells you that, and how would you like to, what would you like to see, and what will success look like? Perhaps we ask that. And then the actions are discussed most of the time, or sometimes a client visualizes what they want to do. I'm not saying all basic level coaching conversations are like that, but we progress. As we progress on this journey, we go deeper and deeper, exploring who the client is. And that is the competence of the coach, the progression of that journey. Does that help, Violetta?
Yes, it does. Very much. Thank you.
Oh, welcome. Any day. So,
Sandhya, we have people wanted to see that quadrant one more time. I think
Sure.
everybody loves it. And questions coming up on, like, what is the action plan one needs to take
yes,
to move
they're coming to that.
towards PCC from ACC. And we have also a question from Naveen. He says that he got accredited about 10 years ago in ACC, and
sorry, would I clarify?
Yes, please. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, Debesh, as in I got my ACTH ICF certification about 10 years ago. I haven't pursued ACC, but I've done a fair amount of coaching through the years and otherwise. And I'm wondering whether I can go straight from 2013, now in 2023, directly to PCC, while perhaps skipping the ACC step per se. That was specifically my question. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, you can.
Okay.
You can, and I will come to that detailed, what you need for each level kind of comparative chart right after this.
Appreciate that short answer. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And Sandhya, we have approximately like 12 or 30 minutes to go. So
I'm just
acknowledging the time.
Yeah,
Everybody's
we'll just
curious to know about the action plan.
Yes, absolutely. So quickly going into this, we are talking about the coach's journey from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence, where they realize what that missing piece in the puzzle is, to conscious competence, where an effort is made to work on that, and then unconscious competence, where it just becomes second nature. It flows. When we say, I know it like the back of my hand, or I could speak about this in my sleep, that kind of confidence and competence. So having done all of this, what then? What are the real tangible benefits? Why should I do my PCC? I'm getting enough work as an ACC. We've heard that before, right? One, the PCC credential is recognized. It's, ICF is the largest credentialing body in the world right now. And client confidence. It's like with the awareness about coaching going up, industry and even individual clients are asking about it. It's like asking, are you a graduate, a postgraduate? Are you an MBA? What level of, what are your credentials? That's something that clients in the industry are asking. It's a good thing they are, because there is awareness. And for the coach, it is, of course, professional development. And of course, yes, the membership and all of that gets you networking opportunities like we are right now. Client confidence is also going to get you increased earning potential. It's amazing. And today it is, I know each one of us worked through the ACC credential and all of those, but for a long time now, ICF allows you to you can go in for a PCC credential directly. PCC has somehow become the basic standard because it's, clients know, industry knows that it requires 500 hours of coaching experience and heaps of training as well, correct? So it's more money. Yeah, your invoices look prettier, better, heavier. And there is continuous growth. And of course, there's, as I said, the coaching experience, 500 hours plus. That's when you apply. 500 hours of coaching is, through the years. It's amazing. It's so rich. It's so beautiful. And trust me, the coach evolves. I don't know how all of you feel about it, but right from why I got into coaching was because I feel coaching is a very, very structured approach to spirituality. We are looking inwards, aren't we? It's same for the coach, and we are going in and exploring the client's inner world. It is a methodology. It's a structure for that inward looking, for that reflection, for introspection. So let's reflect on that. And of course, we are raising coaching standards. The expectations are high. We are providing that. And as I said, fancy invoices. And what are your challenges was something I wanted to discuss here. If there is anything, otherwise we just go on. Debesh, one question perhaps, or we can complete the...
I think, yeah, let's complete and then we can take all the questions.
Sure. The basic question. All of this is great. The causes, the effects are fantastic. Now, how? What do we do? So Naveen, I think this thing will work really well for you. Where are you on your training hours? Where are you on your coach practice hours? You said you've got over 500 and you need mentoring. Minimum 10 hours of mentoring for any credential that you want to get to.
Fantastic.
Yep, this is what it is. Now, this is in the coaching world, everything is measured in the unit of time, hours, basically. Training hours, practice hours, mentoring hours. How does that determine your path? Now, how do we do that? First is, of course, we spoke about the training. Then we get into the coaching hours, start practicing from the day we coaching hours are counted from the day you join a coach training program, right? Keep documenting that. It's a different adrenaline. It's a different high to see your log build up. Then you need.
Sandhya, I'm sorry to interrupt. There's a question which is latched to what you're sharing right now.
Sure, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
So I think Bhaskaran is asking about like how do you count your hours when you've already done your ACC and you're in PCC. So yeah, I think Anu just shared it's cumulative, but a lot of people have this question.
Yes, of course. It's 100 plus 400 to make it 500. It's not fresh 500.
Kenneth has also got a question in the same line. Is there a definite timeline inside which someone stands eligible to apply for ACC from a period when their 60 hours of training got completed? Example, does it state that one needs to apply for ACC accreditation inside or 1 or 2 hours of training hour completion?
1 or 2 years?
Years of training hours completion.
So in the new system, Kenneth, I will definitely get back and check on this. Earlier, it used to be within at least start working on it within 18 months or something like that.
It's still 18 months. That's what they say.
Yes. Yes. And if you add some training to it right now and go straight for PCC, I mean, those are options. Options we can explore anytime once we know, what your certification is, how many hours, what you would like to do. Those are very individual things. I hope that helps, Kenneth. And I think this would apply to Naveen also. So you need to get into mentoring. Everyone needs that. Everyone needs mentoring for every level. There are certain fine lines there where, especially for performance evaluation, it is who is going to listen to your coaching conversation and say, yes, this is PCC worthy, whether your mentor or or an ICF assessor. That depends on the path you choose. That depends on which school of training you choose. Let me explain that further. Here is an entire table, and I do have links for this table and more in my next slide. And we can, Debesh, perhaps copy paste those links in the chat as well.
Yeah.
That would help everyone. So the 3 parts to your credential today as we speak, because all of this whole level 1, level 2 stuff was upgraded last year, starting, I think it was July 1 last year that everything changed. And so level 2 and level 1 and level 3, first of all, is about the way a training organization, the school of training, coach training, is accredited. What path do they follow? So let's say there are A, B, and C. One training organization may be following is accredited. It's got following the level 2 standard. There are others that may be following a combination of level 1 and level 2. There could be some that are following level 1 only. That was the old ACSDH path. And there is level 3. So coach education, of course, in the level 2 program, in the level 2 schools, your coach mentoring will be included in your coach training program, which means that the mentor coaching is completed along with the basic coach training program. Along with, as in mentoring will be separate, but it is a bundle. Performance evaluation, that is your practical work. That is, you record calls or however your mentor wants to do it. The mentor says, all right, the mentor acts as the assessor there and says, all right, you've got 1 call good enough for ACC, and if you're applying for PCC, then you need 2 conversations that are good for PCC. And the mentor says, all good, you can go and apply. So you follow the level 2 application. Whether it's for ACC or PCC, that's a different matter, depends on what you're pursuing. Once the application process is done, ICF gets back to you after 4 weeks in the case of level 2 organizations, and then you take the exam. For level 1, the difference is mentor coaching is, separate from, let's say you join a basic certified life coach program. Every organization has and let's say it's for 60 hours. It's approved for 60 hours of coach training. Criteria for that should be covered over 3 months or longer. Sorry, the mentoring is additional, and the mentoring has to be covered over 3 months or more. What happens to the 2 calls that we need for PCC? they need to be uploaded with the application. The mentor in a level 1 organization is not, they don't approve calls. It goes to an ICF assessor. Again, this application takes about 12 to 14 weeks for approval. And then once it's all approved, once an assessor approves your conversation 1 and conversation 2, then you're ready to apply. That's what it is. I've got all the...
So Sandhya, our participants are okay to stay for 10 more minutes because we are almost 8:30 right now. So everybody is, must be having their answers and
questions.
Feel free to, continue.
Sure. So these are the links. I think we should post it in the... So if you go to the ICF website, that is, of course, coachfederation.org, right on top, you will see a tab that says Become a Coach. That is if you're looking for training. If you're looking for coach training and you're looking for coach mentoring, then click on that. And these are the application parts, which you will find under the Credentials tab. Just go to Credentials, search for whatever you need to, but this shows up there. And once you're in this link on this page, then this comparative, it's all, you can just move forwards and backwards in the entire credentialing cocoon there. But if you want to add training, please go to Become a Coach and choose an organization, whichever one works for you. So in conclusion, I'm saying here that it's transformative. It's really, really powerful. And I say this from experience. It's this journey while I was mentored by the best in the world, and my learning, my own awareness as I went along and coached for those thousands of hours, how each one of those coaching sessions with clients was transformative for me. So the experience really counts. It's learning. You're learning from someone else's life. You're learning about your skills. You're learning about your own unconscious incompetence in some areas. And of course, what the credentialing journey does for us is you stand up, and be counted in a world that is looking for quality in this profession. Take your coaching to new heights. Join the community for networking. It's wonderful, wonderful to be here. And I'm really enjoying my new avatar as part of a chapter. I mean, I've always been part of the Delhi chapter, but now really contributing with my experience. It's just wonderful to be part of this community. And yes, your questions. What can I help everyone with? Debesh?
So we have Shivani is thanking us for the call, and I think there was a question on the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Yeah, that's
is it
right. So Reshma Bhaskar has a question. For better outcome, can we use digital dashboard where the clients chalk out issues, options, and probable way forward in working towards with timeline? I found it very productive and outcome. Does ACC or PCC accept it? So it's a question from Reshmi Bhaskar. I missed it. And
yeah, Rishmi, do you want to use this as a tool?
Yes, I want to use it as a tool because it is very productive and the client is involving in it, and then there is some kind of output is happening at the end of the session. So is it acceptable? Because the only we are probing and they are putting down immediately, so we can also see and we can direct or like allow them to think and reflect immediately.
Yeah, sure. As long as the human interface has to be there, right? It can't be coach and the client both need to be there and then use a tool together. But
yeah, together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Okay, it's
I don't
that's
know the details of the. I'm saying yes to a tool, but I don't know any details about the tool. So yeah, as a tool, we use a lot of tools, right? We use assessments. We use so many things.
Yeah, so we're going to have a series of these sessions, right? So when we come to that point, where what happens between two sessions, coaching doesn't stop, right? So Sandhya, maybe that time you can kind of those coaching moments can happen anytime. So maybe we can, and I'm sure it's not even like, a lot of us have a lot of questions where, it's just not that 1 hour, but when you grow as a PCC coach, what happens in between, what happens to the liminal places. So we would really want all of you to share the feedback form. So, we have collected it for the CCUs, but it would be great if you share it over here. We can share it with you very quickly. CCU hours, Sandhya. CCU hours are considered training or coaching hours. Where do they fit in? The question goes to you.
Coach education hours. So you get some resource, two parts to it. Some things are resource development, coach education units, and there are others that are based on competencies that are those are also coach education units, and we apply for those and we give you that certificate.
So Rajneesh has asked a very important question, like a minimum coaching hours is needed 500, but if one is lacking it, does the PCC training provider, the educator, offer an opportunity to fill up for this shortfall? So Sandhya, can I answer that? Like I'm in this journey and I can share. Is that okay? Yeah, so Rajneesh, there are educators who are having like, peer coaching, as peer coaching, they are giving this opportunity. And some of the coaching educators are also having projects which are pro bono projects where, they are taking it on. It's new. I would want you to figure it out, but they are helping. This is new, which is happening, and they're helping to get those 500 hours. And as a chapter, Radhakanji, we would be also excited to have something where we can, have those hours available. And we have we are having an ongoing conversation right now, but this is a need for all of us. Thank you so much for asking. If anybody wants to know more, like please contact us, the chapter, and we'll be happy to brainstorm.
Globally, yeah, Debesh, I'll just add a little bit to that. Globally, it's been this whole, providing, supporting your students or mentees with barter coaching, peer coaching, because it's counted as hours, paid hours. It's been going on for a long time. Now, Rajneesh, you really have to do some research there. Some organizations do, some don't. That is just some research to be done.
Sunny has also a very important question. These are all coming, these are pain points of any coach who's going through this journey of becoming a PCC.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are there minimum hours for considering a client in the coaching log, or even 1 hour session is counted to count for 25 people? Sunny, I didn't get it. Do you want to unmute and like expand it a little?
That'd be great.
So is there a number of, like in the journey, we have to show a number of minimum hours?
especially that there are some X number of clients which we should have for PCC accreditation. So it can be 1 hour for a client.
1 hour. What if the client decides to end coaching or they take a break? In the meantime, you decide to apply. That 1 hour done with that client is fine on your log, and the rest of the 499 hours could be with so many other clients who've taken 5 sessions, 4 sessions, 8 sessions, 10 sessions. Even a half an hour session counts. Group coaching is maximum hours you can log in for group coaching is 2 hours, not more than that. That's the difference between group coaching and training. So you can add in your group coaching as well. And of course, that 1 hour.
Can you repeat this 2 hour thing? I don't know.
So for example, let's say this is a group coaching session. For example, this isn't a group coaching session because we are over 30 people here. A group coaching is when the coach is addressing about 10 to 12 people only. And it is not for 2 hours. 2 into 12 doesn't work. It is just 2 hours. For example, if I had to talk about this particular session in my log, I would say that it's what? An hour and a half, 1.5 hours or 2 hours. It's maximum time spent that you can log in for a group session is 2 hours.
And I have a question over here. And is there also a limit on the number of participants that we can count on?
Yes, 12.
12 is the maximum. So are we going to do 2 into 12 or it's 12?
No, it is 2 hours. Simple. If you are coaching 12 people for 2 hours in one go, that's how it's a group, right?
Got it. So
right now we have 30 people here.
Right. And I feel there's a lot of questions. So maybe we can take a couple of more questions. Is there a strict definition to a coaching session from Naveen? Sandhya, question for you.
In what way, Naveen? Would you?
Sandhya, I'll elaborate. Is the framework defined by signing a contract? Certainly there are goals, and certainly there's a learning path, and nobody's going to pay you without any of that. But having said that, I'm just wondering, is a coaching session then defined by a contract or a start point and an end point and some of those other dynamics? Another ancillary question to that is that what if we did a 4-hour session? Then are we allowed to take 2 hours out of the 4-hour session to then count it even in the group coaching? Because sometimes the lines between coaching and training can blur, and is why I'm also posing that specific question. Yes?
So 2 hours, yes, but how many people there?
Yes, I understand that you define that by not having any more than 20 people in a batch. So I'm talking sometimes
10
about
10 to 12. Yeah.
10 to 12. Okay, most certainly within that number.
Then it's, yeah. So this is a very honor system kind of work that we do here. And yes, if 2 hours counts, let's put down 2 hours and leave out the other 2 hours in the log, if that's what works. Now, as far as the contracting part goes, so contracting and, having a stakeholder agreement is, or whatever you may call it, a coaching agreement is extremely important. But, we have lots of questions on the details about contracting and agreements. Perhaps one session for our series, if everyone in the chapter is good with that, we can have it only on contracting and, and then go ahead with that. Does that make sense?
as long as you give us time, it always will make sense, Sandhya. Thank you so very much.
Okay, so we are at the end of our session, and yeah, so thank you everyone. You all have been generous, and I can see 27 bright minds, curious coaches out there. And the last question is what I asked is, what do you want for the next session? So Abhimanyu wants CCU core applied RDUs, both are counted. It's an information. So there are limits on RDUs. Is there a question, Abhimanyu? Asha, he's sharing information. Team coaching after 15 allowed. Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing the same. So my question to all is that what you want for the next sessions, because it's going to be a series, and this is meant to serve the pain points that we all have in this journey. Anybody, do you want to type in? Right. So Bhaskar is saying ACC focus and also certification walk through the certification, information on being a PCC assessor. I think that's great. And yeah, so thank you so much, Abhimanyu. He shared the link for the team coaching, and right. Some interplay of the CCUs and RDUs, etc. for credentialing, basic question. Right. Yeah. So all of you can put that question in the feedback form. Thank you so much for Rajneesh sharing that. So Sandhya, you can stop sharing the screen and we can all take Zoom fee and end the session. If it's okay, then everybody turn on your bright, show your video, and well, let's take a Zoom fee and yeah, call it a night. Right. So thank you. Thank you. I can see everyone. Lovely. It's always nice to see everybody in person. Right. Thank you. Right. So what should we say while clicking a photograph in a credentialing session? Yeah. Not cheese, but what? PCC?
Yeah,
Okay.
really.
So, right. PCC. See you. Okay, whatever. Yeah, let's smile. Yeah. Can somebody else also take a Zoom fee? Maybe mine is not the best. Sunny, do you want to help me? Thank you so much, Abhimanyu. It added so much value to it, our session. Thank you. One more. Right. Yeah. So thank you so much. I'm saying thank you so many times. I'm just going to record it, but I look forward towards the feedback, right? It is just, we have started.
We look forward to, everyone joining us for our other sessions as well.
Yeah. It needs to be co-created, and it is to serve each and everyone across the globe who are having those questions, and there's nobody to answer. We have Sandhya. Thank you so much. Again, I'm saying thank you. I'll have another word.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great day for everyone in the Western Hemisphere, and good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.